Okay, so I'll start with this, okay? And landfills produce methane. And landfills are the biggest anthropogenic contributors of methane. Accounted for 11% of global methane emissions in 2017, expected to increase to 20% by 2050, primarily because of India and China. Creates groundwater pollution and lots of waters, valuable resources buried in the landfill, depresses land values, and so I mentioned this earlier. So this is the landfill in my city. Okay, this is the entrance to the landfill, and you can see that it's nice and clean and all of that. There's a way people can, if I have big things to drop off, okay, I can take it there and drop it off, but generally the city collects all the stuff and brings it here. But this is the backside of that landfill, where there are holes in the ground, and this is really messy, lots of trash, and there are these bulldozers that are going up and down, compacting everything. And you can see all the birds out there. Right, Lawrence is a very smelly place. It's a very dirty place. So this is, so you can't see it. The landfill is outside the, well outside the city limits, but it's a very, very messy place. Sometimes it catches fire. It's caught fire in 2015. Okay, and many places in India, if you go to the major garbage dumps, there's a garbage dump in Delhi called Ghazipur. I think I have a picture here. It has been smoldering. That is not a big fire, but things are burning in it for the last 10 or 15 years. Likewise, there is a large trash dump in Calcutta. So if you're going from Kharagpur to the airport in Calcutta, you go past this trash dump. And there also, things have been smoldering for a very, very long time. So the fires have been there. Landfills in India, this is the Bhalswa landfill in Delhi. Okay, and all that smoke is permanently there. That whole landfill is permanently on fire. One of the biggest sources of greenhouse gas emissions in India, methane accounts for 29% of India's GHGs. Globally it's 15%. And these municipal, they're not landfills, they're just dumps, they're garbage dumps. Okay, so they're not sanitary, they're not landfills, you're not filling the land, it's just dumped out. And this waste is increasing. Trends in waste in India are increasing. As you can see, per capita, it's now reached about 1.25 pounds at half a kg. 20 years ago, it used to be 1/4 of a kg. Now it's become half a kg. And in 5 or 6 years, it will be much more than that. And generally, as you know, in Indian cities, sorry, the slide is not very good. You have commercial household waste. You have people come to your house, take your trash and put it in a neighborhood dump, and the city is supposed to take it. City is supposed to pick it up from the neighborhood dump. And in most cities, only 50 to 60% of the city solid waste reaches the city landfill. And some of it is taken to biomethanation plants from the city landfill. Some of it is taken to waste to energy plants. There are rack pickers who take some of it from the landfill, and then they give it to aggregators. Some of this is used. And this used to be the place, this is a very common Indian story, right? So less than 50 to 60% of the total waste generated in India reaches a landfill, okay? And indoor, as you know where it is, you know where indoor is, right? So I don't have to show you the slides, but it's 2.6 million population now. It was 19 lakhs in 2011, now it's about 26 lakhs. These are some places there. It's a beautiful city. You've been to Indore, right? People have here have been to Indore. How many of you've been to Indore, right? It's a beautiful city. Lots of lakes. This is the Central Park. There's a big park. What's it called? Does anyone remember? I think it's Meghna Park. It's in the center of the city. It's a very nice park. Lots of peacocks and wildlife. Very big park. This one on the right. And lots of traffic, but some good streets. Left is old Indore, right is near new Indore. Some streets like this. And this is how it used to be before 2016. Very similar to Indian cities. Okay, the city would not pick up from the house, and you have scenes like this on the right, where in neighborhood dumps, lots of stuff is lying around. And this is common scenes in Indore, 2016. Common scenes in Patna today, common scenes in many other cities today. Stuff is taken from the house by some private party and put in these places, and there are lots of things happening around that. Crack pickers in Indore picking up the stuff, often kids picking up the stuff. And this is what they did. So they decided to have a municipal pickup. They decided that they will pick up waste every day from every house. They asked all the people to separate the waste at source into 5 or 6 different categories. Every day, a small van comes, picks up the waste in 6 different categories, and then it's taken to transfer stations. At transfer stations, the wet waste, the organic waste, which is coming separated, okay? So organic waste is compacted into big trucks and taken from the transfer station to an organic waste plant. And the dry waste or the recyclable waste in 5 or 6 categories is taken to a large sorting central processing station. At the central processing station, you have the organic waste processing as well as the dry waste processing. The organic waste from all over the city is fed into a biomethanation plant. It produces methane. The methane is captured and used to power the city public transit buses. The city public transportation buses are powered by the methane from the trash, from the city trash. And that generates money for the city municipal corporation. Okay? Then the dry waste, all the non-organic waste, is separated into about 55 to 60 different categories. And the process for separating that is fantastic. There is mechanical separation, there is magnetic separation, there is optical separation, and finally human separation. Okay, humans are just checking, making sure there's no contamination in different categories. And all this is separated into different categories and channeled into different storage bins. So all the bottles will go to one place, all the plastic bottles will go to one place, the glass bottles will go to another place, and so on. And when these containers get full, and the containers are like about half the size of this room, okay? So this would be 2 containers, 55 categories. So there are, a place about 30 times the size with containers. As soon as container for plastic bottles gets filled, the person there makes a call to an industry. They have established linkages with industries that will use this material. They make a call to the industry, and the person will come and pick it up. Okay. And they'll take it to these places. So how do they get these people to start? This is a place where in 2016, the municipality was not picking up waste from people's houses. The municipality was only picking up from the neighborhood dumps. And these neighborhood dumps, only about 50 or 60% of the waste from the neighborhood dump will actually go to the city landfill. Okay? And I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of corruption in this municipal waste pickup. There are contractors who get a contract to pick up waste from the dump, municipal dump, and take it to the city landfill. Okay, so they are under contract to pick up, let's say, 10 truckloads every week, and there are costs involved with all of that. What generally happens in most Indian cities, they pick up 5 truckloads, and they bill for 10. Okay, and some of the profits are shared by people in power. Okay, so that happens. So there, yeah. So no, this is a municipal commissioner telling me. Okay, all this. So so that was happened. So nothing is getting picked up from the house. So they had to create a culture of getting people to separate their waste in the house and give it to the persons when they come every day. So here's what the city did. The city contracted with 2 non-profits and told the 2 non-profits, can you please help us create this awareness about source segregation? And for people to pay the municipality some money for picking up the waste. Now, they were not, prior to 2016, they were not paying the city any money for waste collection, okay? And they were putting all their trash into one plastic, and someone will come and put it and take it to the neighborhood dump and put it there, okay? These two non-profits hired young people who had just finished a bachelor's degree from Bachelor's in Arts or something like that, and they were all hired by the non-profits. And these young people, hired by the non-profits, were all given iPads. Okay, and they went ward by ward, house by house. In each house, these young people went and asked the people that are living in the house, "What problems do you have that the city can fix?" And people will say, "There is a pothole outside on the road that has been there for 5 years. I've been calling every day. The city has not done anything." Some other house will say, "There's a street light here. Because it's not on, it does not come on for the last 3 or 4 years. It's very dangerous. Women can't walk along the street now. That I've called the city so many times and nothing has happened." So these young people would enter that complaint with that house number geocode. Okay? Every day. Every day they're going house by house. Every day all this information was collated. And everything was synthesized and put together in the city hall, at the municipal corporation. Every day this information was put together. And every day some executive engineer in the municipal corporation had to respond to these complaints within 24 hours. Okay, and if this was not responded within 24 hours, if that pothole was not fixed within 24 hours, if the street light was not fixed within 24 hours, then it would escalate to the municipal commissioner. And the municipal commissioner within 72 hours will ask the engineer, "Why has this not been done?" Okay, what happened? Suddenly all these things started getting fixed. Okay, and then these NGO employees will come back and say, we talked to you about your problems. Have your problems been fixed? And the people would say the problems have been fixed. And they had suddenly these people, the people living in the house, had a lot of faith in these young people. Okay, and then these young people would say, "You know what? The city is doing another initiative where they're going to pick up your trash, and you have to segregate into 5 or 6 categories. Here's why the municipality is picking it up. There are public health things. Here's why it's got to be segregated into different groups, and you have to pay a small amount so that the municipality can do this." Suddenly there was faith in these young people. Okay, and they taught and each of these young people went with a kit. They had a small bag, and the kit they would roll it out on a mat, and in the mat they would show what is wet waste, what is battery waste, what is other waste. They demonstrate. They would show what different kinds of waste are. Okay? And then they launched it first in 2 wards and then went to the other wards. So, most people liked it. Yeah. Some people did not want to pay the government any money, so they would not, when the van came to pick up, they would not open the door and give them any stuff. Every day, the trash being picked up, the municipality decided we are going to collect information on that. So every driver of the garbage van was given an iPad. And every day, it's picking up from this house, I picked up this much stuff. And it was segregated. 1, 2, 3, so every day they're picking up. So in 1 month, if Anil's house has not given, okay, after 1 month, someone from the municipal corporation will come to Anil and say, "Anil, you haven't put any trash for 1 month." Okay? Anil probably doesn't want to give money, okay, 30, 50 rupees or so. It doesn't. So they come to Anil's house and say, "Anil, you haven't given any trash for 1 month." So Anil would say, "No, I've not been here, I've not been living here, so that's why I didn't give any trash for 1 month." And the municipality will say, "Yet, you have been using so many gallons, so many liters of water, you've used so much of electricity, so you have been living here. So we'll give you some more time and you better give this." So let's say Anil doesn't give for another 30 days, and he get another reminder, and he doesn't give for another 30 days. When it hits 3 months, someone from the corporation comes to Anil's house. They will ask Anil to come out, someone will give him a garland. They'll take a picture, and in the colony somewhere, in a large hoarding, they will put the title, Anil is the dirtiest person in this colony. Okay, this really happened. Okay. Then next day Anil is coming to pay all the dues. 100% compliance, 99.8% compliance. Okay? And sometimes these students who are doing the job with the NGOs, they would say, look, we have to get, they would come to Anil, right? They would say, look, please give, you know that if you are not giving, please give. And if you don't give, I might lose my job. Because these young people would say that. They would try to get some sympathy and all that. So they try education, they try sympathy, and if it doesn't work, this is the result. And it has really, really worked. That's how the city has made that difference, okay? Now this van that comes, these vans are small vans, okay? They're not huge trucks. And they have 6 compartments at the back. These vans, there's an app. Everyone indoor has an app. And this app will tell you when the van is coming to your house. Okay, they'll say Monday it will come between 8 and 8:30. And on Monday in the morning, you can actually track where the van is. Okay, so just before the van comes, even if you go somewhere, you can come back. In a 10-minute window, you can come into it. But the municipal corporation also wanted people to know that the van is coming. So in each of these vans, there is music that the van is coming. Yeah. And you know what? For the music, they went to get this the song recorded. The song is basically saying indoor is clean and stuff like that. They went to these Bollywood singers and said, would you like to record this song for us? And there's a long list of Bollywood singers who want to sing this song. So every year they have a contract with one of these famous Bollywood singers who's singing that song. So this is an amazing transformation, okay? Okay. Now, Indore had this large landfill next to the river, 76 acres. And in that, so because of all of this, since 2018, Indore, the city, does not have anything to take to the landfill. But they have this huge mountain next to the river. So they said, what do we do with this? They called a company to bioremediate the landfill. They separated the whole landfill into different cells, took out all the inorganics, and gotten lots of worms and other things to eat away all the organics. So over 2 years, they took this huge mountain of trash, which had been built over 50 years and occupied 70 acres. They cleaned everything and made it a city park, where in 2018 they planted trees. By 2023, the trees had become big. In 2023, India was the host of the G20 summit. Many world leaders came to India for the G20. 20 world leaders, there's only one place they went to. At Devgarh. That was this landfill that had been converted to a city park. Okay, Biden, Macron, all of these world leaders, that's the only place they came to.
Big lab, Asia's largest CNG biogas plant.
Yeah, the biogas plant that they have is one of the largest biogas plants.
In Madhya Pradesh?
In Asia, the largest biogas plant. So they have done a fantastic job with this. Okay, so if Indore can do it, other places can also do it. So this is the landfill before 2016. This is the site of the landfill before 2016. I did not see it in 2016, but I went there in 2023, around the time of the G20, and this is what it looked like. Okay, it's the same area, exact same area. So there are lots of reasons. This is one of, this is one of the areas street dubbed before, and this is that same place later on. So this is the vans. These are the vans, and there are people going around collecting it. You can see the vans are very small. People go around to all these places and collect it. This on the right is one of the transfer stations. Can you see this transfer station? It looks like a computer manufacturing factory, not a trash factory, where they're collecting trash. It's really clean. Very nicely they've maintained it. This is their central processing plant. And there are these flow charts at different places, so to remind people of how to do this. And one of the things that they did is there were lots of rack pickers, right? And they had very little income and looked down upon. The municipal commissioner said, okay, let's give them some dignity. And he asked those rack pickers, do you want to become part of the formal economy? Many of them said yes. All the rack pickers were trained in how to pick and clean and all these things. All of them, they're not formally employees of the city, but they were all given uniforms. And all the rack pickers, because they are of a certain socioeconomic status, they were living in certain well-defined parts of the city. Every morning, even today, Indore Municipal Corporation sends a bus to pick them up and takes them there. And in the evening, the bus brings them back. Many of them have children in school. Their children are picked up by the municipal corporation and brought to the site where there is a daycare center for the children. So when the women are working there, when the kids are free from school, the children come there. When I spoke to these children, or when I spoke to these women, they were so proud that they had dignity. They had uniforms. The municipality was giving them new uniforms, new shoes, PPE equipment, all of that, so much of dignity. And they felt so honored that the city is picking them up and bringing them back. They felt that they were working in a factory. So it addresses the efficiency problem, it addresses the environmental problem, but it also addresses the equity problem. Taking these rack pickers who are getting, about 2,000 rupees a month or so, now they get about 30,000 rupees a month. And they're not municipal employees because then there's contracts, unions and all of that. This is just profit sharing from all the things that they're selling. And the solid waste operation in Indore is actually a big profit maker for the city. It's subsidizing the rest of the city because they're making so much money from us. In most parts of the city, in Patna, PMC does not have money to do with solid waste. Why? Because it's a huge, so many trucks, so many employees, so much of gas, big expense. Why pick up more trash? They have flipped it. This is the income generating thing. And this is their organic waste. There are lots of reasons. This is a mural at the airport. But Indore has a certain spirit of entrepreneurship, okay? And it goes back to perhaps this woman. Okay, she was one of the earliest rulers, woman rulers in India. More than the temples, she started the first girls-only school. Okay, and when she was actually not from a royal family. She was just an ordinary village girl, but her father-in-law saw her potential and got her married to her son. And when he died, she became the queen. Okay, and this is in the municipal commissioner's office. This is a mural on the wall in the municipal commissioner's office, made from rags. This is waste textile pieces with which they have made this. Okay, so Indore has done it. Why is Patna not doing it? Same population, 26 lakhs, 27 lakhs. Political will and getting people to come in. So this what Indore is doing, no other city in the world does it. It does not happen in the US, does not happen in Denmark, does not happen in UK. Why isn't Patna doing it? Why isn't Gwalior doing it? Why isn't Bhopal doing it? That's an interesting PhD question. Okay, take a look at that. Okay, I'll stop here. And actually, Professor Mandal was going to talk about some of the some things here, but since he's not here, I have an activity for you guys.